Ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely honoured to be with you here today. My name is Leanne Mohamad, and I'm a British Palestinian who was born and raised in London, and I am the granddaughter of 1948 Nakba survivors. My father's family are from Haifa in Palestine, and my mother's are from Ramallah and Al-Khalil. But unfortunately, the Nakba has displaced us all, and it has become our living reality. I thought I'd begin by telling you my story. Some of you may recognise me as the girl who spoke out and was silenced, or the girl who was censored for hoping for freedom. My activism journey began at the age of 15 when I was nominated by my English teacher to take part in the Jack Petchey Speak Out Challenge, the largest speaking competition for young people in the world, in which I chose to speak about something that I truly had a passion for, Palestine. I delivered a speech titled Birds, Not Bombs, and it won first place with applause and without any objection from my audience. My aim was to spread the message of the reality of Palestine and the ongoing hardships that my people face on a day-to-day basis as a result of the Nakba. After winning the competition, I was extremely proud of my achievement. But after my video had gone viral, this happy moment was then hijacked by online trolls who were out there to discredit me. They bombarded my school Twitter, which had to be shut down. They then went online and created videos labelling me as the good little ISIS girl. I was subjected to a continuous barrage of online abusive comments as well as online videos referring to me as a 15-year-old suicide bomber, an ISIS recruiter who needs to be burnt alive, an evil, anti-Semitic KKK Nazi schoolgirl who needs to be jailed permanently, and believe me, the list goes on. This further became a police matter, and although all the advice was to simply just shut my Twitter down, I was not ready to lose. The task of educating others on the Nakba in the face of Israel's attempt to erase our history is one that we've inherited from our grandparents. And as a third-generation Palestinian living in the diaspora, this was and remains a duty, and these stories will never stop being told. And despite the abuse, the hashtag of Let Leanne Speak went viral, and I received immense support, overwhelmingly from so many people that I didn't even know. With pain comes learning, and with the support of my family and my friends, I rose to the challenge. I was determined not to fall. They were not going to win, and it's proved that they helped me to be heard as far and beyond as I could imagine. So thank you. No one will ever silence me, and I will continue to shout louder about the plight of my people. And here I am, 7 years later, continuing, because Palestine is not a trend, and the Nakba was not a moment in our history or a one-off event. It is our ongoing catastrophe. The Nakba is my family's story, the story of when my grandparents were forced and driven out of their homes in Haifa, in Palestine, by Zionist militias, and ended up being refugees in Lebanon. The Nakba is our open wound that did not heal, that is still bleeding. Because of the Nakba, my father ended up being born a Palestinian refugee in a refugee camp in Lebanon. Because of the Nakba, my grandparents were expelled from their homeland and were forced to leave Haifa, thinking it would be only a few days, maybe weeks, at most months, before their return. But today, 3/4 of a century later, they still live in Burj al-Shamali refugee camp in South Lebanon, still awaiting their right to return. My grandfather unfortunately passed away in that refugee camp before being able to return to his home in Palestine, but I pray that my grandmother will be able to see a free Palestine within her lifetime. And my grandparents' lived experiences mirror those of millions of Palestinians who are unable to return to their homes. But I believe that we are the generation that will be able to gift our grandparents a free Palestine and their right to return home. I feel the weight of the Palestinian cause on my chest, the injustice, the oppression, and the anger, a weight and feeling I will carry with me till the day justice prevails. Justice for all Palestinians, Palestinians who are still occupied, still violently forced from their lands, and who are still awaiting their right of return. There isn't one Palestinian alive today who hasn't been affected by the Nakba that shattered a whole society in 1948. But the UK government still refuses to acknowledge this reality and remains complicit in the dispossession my people are facing today, just as it was 75 years ago. We must never forget Britain's historic role in the catastrophe, dating all the way back to the Balfour Declaration of 1917. Britain was not an innocent bystander, but in fact, its foreign policies laid the groundwork for the Nakba and its impact today. Each day we see the violent effects of the failure to address this historic injustice, whether on the settler front lines in Jerusalem, the refugee camps in Lebanon, or under Israeli bombs in Gaza. For Palestinians, there is no P in PTSD, and the family trauma we have endured for decades is never ending. But we will never forget our roots. And on this important anniversary, at a time of accelerating Palestinian dispossession, it is more vital than ever that we remember the Nakba, not only to mourn, but to resist it.